What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Sean Ray, and I got Mr. Ray here with us today. I know you guys got to see in the last video his newest property, and we broke down what his numbers were, his cash-on-cash returns, and we detailed it step by step. And I know a lot of you guys had some questions, and so today we're going to run through those questions really quick. Surprisingly, there was a lot of questions, so we're going to try to get through it pretty quickly, but I have a tendency to kind of ramble on, so let's focus. I have my coffee, and let's go. First question from the comment from last video was from Nick Caps, and he wants to ask, how do you come up with the targets for the weekend and the weekday rates for that area? That area is West Dallas. That's where all of his properties are. But he's making one new property right now. We'll probably talk to it at the end of the video.
Yeah, so for that, I really just rely on people that are smarter in that area and ask them questions, and I'm pretty coachable, so I just follow along to whatever they're doing. My last property, which was Craft, I just decided to go ahead and go up $100, a little bit more expensive to test the area, just because it was a newer home, more expensive, and it worked out.
Does Ray require a minimum number of days to be booked? And does he have a max number of days that can be booked?
Max, no. Minimum, I do require a 2-day minimum on my newer home, just because I was seeing that people that tend to book longer than a day don't do as much damage, and so I figured I'd give it a try.
Does Ray, number 3, does Ray invest in any entertainment options for guests, like streaming services, karaoke machines, game systems, like an Xbox, board games, stuff like that?
We gotta keep PG, don't we? I don't.
Not necessarily.
I don't. No.
That retractable wall that has the pole in it.
Yeah.
So that. No. You heard it here first. No games when it comes to Ray, in his houses and in his relationships. Sky Ever, he has a question for you. Are your future houses going to be in the same area, West Dallas?
No. I currently have one that I'm working on in Oak Cliff, and then I have another one that I'm currently under contract that's in South Dallas, but no, I plan to eventually start moving to a different area of Dallas. It's just Dallas has been working for me, so here I am.
So to answer, yes, he's doing a different market in Dallas, but as far as a different market outside of Dallas, no.
No, the answer is no.
No Tulum coming up soon.
Oh, you don't know, maybe.
Kind of goes into the next question from Sky. Would you ever buy outside of Dallas? Would you ever buy outside of Dallas?
I would buy outside of Dallas if it made sense. As of right now, it doesn't make any sense, because the hardest part about having different properties in different areas is just the fact that I need somebody reliable in that area. The only way that I would do it is if there's like a specific city that I really want to go to pretty consistently. And as of right now, my ultimate goal is to just travel the world, so I don't really have a place that I love, so I wouldn't buy a house right now in a different area.
The Shawns might be going to Austin. Would you come with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin would be cool.
Really?
Houses for like $800,000 though.
You guys are moving?
He just got 40 units in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Airbnb moving.
Gotcha.
Once the houses are fully set up, yeah, no, we went without you. We're the three amigos, man. Once the houses are fully set up, are you completely hands off, or are there still things that you need to handle, like maintenance?
No, I have a pretty good crew right now that I put in place. So just me being me, every now and then I want to go ahead and jump in and figure out what's going on. And I'm pretty ADD, so once I like jump in and figure out what's going on, I stick to it for about a week, and then once I get back to having things the way that I like it, I let it go for another couple of months. But I'm pretty hands off.
Are there a certain number of houses that you want to have before you quit your regular day job?
No, I don't plan to quit my regular day job just because my regular day job is another investment that I'm currently doing. I'm currently working on another good source of income that I have. I run my own business pretty much. So no, I mean, I can't tell you where I'm going to be next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. I am changing as a person, so we'll see what happens in the future. But for the next couple of years, I just keep on building.
How do you plan on, side question, how do you plan on traveling the world and being able to do whatever you want if you still have to have your business that you have to run?
Yeah, so I'm in the financial services industry, and so within the industry, I'm able to build businesses, and it buys me doing a good enough job, buys me the time to be able to do so. So I work hard and then I play hard. So there's certain times of the year that I can travel, certain times of the year that I can't, mostly because I'm just building. I have the ability to do so.
He's been building for a year. Those arms have grown since the last video. Cue, last video. Ray, just follow me here. Bunk bed, triple bunk bed, triple bunk bed, triple bunk bed. Bro, we have 9 beds in here. And if you can get 3 triple bunk bed fulls, that's like two people per bed. And so if you get 2 people per bed, then we're looking at, I have 24. To do math, 24 people, yeah. Damn, in just one room. I was like, we could turn this into a dorm. All right, what kind of financing will you use for future houses?
Talk to Derek.
Derek Alutian.
Just getting a loan from him.
Yeah. Whenever we have financing questions, we just call him and say, Derek, what's up? What can you get us? And he's like, I got a great option for you. If you were approved for only $300,000, would you use that $300 to buy a home or for that price, or would you save up to get a more expensive home?
Real estate is real estate, so if it made sense financially, I would invest in that property. I'd buy a home for $300,000. Things are getting more expensive, and so everything's going up.
Yeah, ultimately it doesn't matter the price, if it's $100,000 or $10 million. If you can get a cash-on-cash return at 20% down of 20 to 30% cash-on-cash, or at 5% down, 40 to 50%, even 60% cash-on-cash, then it doesn't matter if it's 300 or 600. Depends on your market. Sorry to jump in here, but
that's a question more for a real estate agent, for sure.
Do you own a personal home not used as investment property?
Nope. I rent where I live.
And buy where you rent?
Buy where I rent.
Yeah. Who told you that? Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
I did hear it, yeah. But then I read that book, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor book.
Yeah, by Gary Keller.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, my Houston buddy. Get it? So he's actually working with Jared Robinette right now to buy an investment property in Houston. And he's even thinking about getting a couple of them. He's a cool guy. All right, Mai said, how do you select the properties? Do you see a lot of houses before you choose this one? And what was important to you on craft?
It's just what was in the market. I try to look at the sexiest house that's available, and I go after it. Room sizes, got to make sure that I have enough room. There's a lot more. Got to make sure that it makes sense in terms of like, are there enough beds? Do I have enough space to be able to put enough beds in the rooms? Does it make sense when it comes down to like a good living space area? Just because if we're gonna go the way I'm doing it is I'm providing big homes, so you're gonna have big homes, you're gonna have a big crowd, and so I want to go ahead and make sure that I have a big space, living room area, so people can go ahead and do whatever they want to do, enjoy their time, and so that's something that I also pay attention to. I don't want to have like an enclosed area just because it can be pretty awkward and frustrating, especially if you pay a lot of money for a property to stay there for a night or two. So
Mai was kind of brutal in his question. He said he doesn't, in his personal opinion, he doesn't like craft. It's not his favorite house, but compared to the others that are on the market. But he did say we did an amazing job, or you did an amazing job maximizing the space and furnishing it. His next question comes following that up is, did you look at a lot of properties and map out the properties and the beds and these stuff like that to get these amazing results? Or how were you able to maximize this house to get these results, even though it wasn't the sexiest house ever?
No, I mean, the rule that we follow is just anything that has more than 4 beds, 4 bedrooms, and in my personal opinion, at that point, that was the best house in the market that looked the sexiest. And I went after it. It's actually a really nice house. Whenever you go in there, it's a really nice house. So I pay attention to areas as well where it's located to make sure that it's not next to like a crack house or something. But areas do matter to me. Which is a
risk over in West Dallas.
Yeah, areas do matter to me. And then wherever you were, the house is nice.
Yeah, you might be confusing craft with Burndret.
Well, Burndret's pretty nice too.
Burndret's nice, but craft is nicer. Is it $1 million mansion or something like that? No, but it's pretty decent when you get in there. He did a really good job making it look cool, painting the walls black and all the cool things like that. And keep in mind, this house was a gift because this was the last house I was able to sell in West Dallas for $200 per square foot. That was like right there when things started doing 250, or I'm sorry, 215, 220, 210. And then he was able to get in there right at 200. And then ever since then, now
180.
What's that?
180.
Was it at 180?
175, I think.
Oh my God. So under 200, which is absurd because now there was just a home that was sold this month. I think it's closing at the middle of February, end of February. And it got under contract for $278 per square foot. And that's streets away from his house. And so potentially he has the ability to go up $70 to $100 per square foot in 1 year, which is nuts. How many square foot is it?
23, 24.
So do the math, 2,400 square foot times 100. That could be potentially his equity in 1 year. So he really got lucky on that one. So numbers are important. What is the market then compared to now? Well, we just kind of answered that, but what's the market compared to now? You just are looking for a house, you just went under contract on a house. So what was different this time around? He said he feels like there's nothing on the market to shop around. So how is this buying experience different than last year's?
Sucks. Everything's more expensive, unfortunately. People like Sean sell expensive homes. Screw you, man.
All right. People are going to write books about this. How do you go about furnishing your homes? You got some really cool furniture. Whenever you started furnishing your first house, I was like, I'm not used to people furnishing their house that nice. I do like hand-me-down BS furniture. You had much nicer furniture and it paid off for you. And not only that, but it wore off on me. And now I put nicer furniture in my properties. And I feel like you always step it up a notch. And our friends Paul and Megan stepped it up. Here's the notch, and then they went way over here. So we'll see if that turned out. So why did you decide to furnish this that way? And then how much did you spend? How much do you plan to on your next house?
I enjoy it. I mean, I think I naturally enjoy just setting furniture up, and I like to think that I have somewhat of a creative mind, and so Google helps. Pinterest, just go on there and look for ideas, and I like make them come alive.
All right. Do you have a vision when you go into the deal, or you just kind of figure it out? So he says, example, a general look and feel, some pieces you picked out mentally, and then figured out your details once you had the property, or do you purchase the house and then just figure it out once you get in there?
Yeah, I purchased the house first, and then I'll figure it out once I go in there. I mean, I started thinking about ideas as to what I can put in there. So for example, I'll randomly find something that I like. I think in my last house, I put like an egg chair in there, and that's something that I randomly just saw, because I wanted to put it in my balcony of my apartment. And I was like, that'd be pretty cool in a house. We'll see one day. But once I actually have the house and the space and I know what I'm working with, I start putting things together.
And as long as it's always black and somewhat gold. He's a black and gold, white kind of guy. Yep. As you can tell by his outfit.
Yep.
This is the most color I've ever seen him wear. Look, he's got brown on. His shoes have brown. Looking back, what would you do differently on your last two houses? No regrets. I know that's the saying in life, no regrets. But if you had regrets, what would you do differently? Other than buy more houses faster.
That's literally the only thing. I wish as a 22-year-old kid, I probably would have done a better job of just keeping more capital in my disposal, rather than trying to be a cool kid, lying around, spending money.
So you want to be a rock superstar?
I shouldn't have been spending on.
What'd you spend it on? What were some positive and negative surprises?
I didn't really have any surprises. Surprise, I guess, in my second home that it was pretty successful. I was like, holy crap, all right. I didn't think that it was going to keep on working. First one was learning that things will get torn up. That was a little discouraging. Things happen. It's you're going to have some kind of damage at some point. And so I thought that the house was going to remain the same for forever. But I realized that people are people, and we don't always take care of other people's stuff. I got some stuff damaged along the way, and so that was a little bit of a surprise, but it is what it is, part of the business.
Any surprises with your neighbors?
No, they're cool.
And surprise, surprise, if you have a nice house and you drop your prices down super low to get it filled, you might get people in there that aren't the most quality tenants, and they might not treat your property like the most quality tenants. We've all had that situation. I know he's had a couple of stories that even ended in some gunshots, which maybe in a different video, if you guys want to hear about that, we can do a horror stories with Ray, and he can share some of his favorite examples, like someone getting shot in his property while he was there. That was a fun one, but not for today. If you guys want that, that's video content for another time, but you have to say it in the comments below. And while you're at it, like and subscribe. Last one from my, haven't been doing this for a while. We're living through wild times. What was your view on current conditions and market outlook for the future? This is for both Sean and Ray, and Ray Sean, and Sean and Ray Ray.
I mean, you know, hotels have been around for a very long time, and they're not going anywhere. And so I view the same part of the process when homes. You know, I think the market is going to continue to grow, and so I'm pretty optimistic about it. Not really worried about it.
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. I feel like just because all factors don't affect others. Like yes, a rising tide raises all ships, and vice versa. I feel like the stock market and the Bitcoin market is freaking people out. And so obviously the stock market's going down, the Bitcoin market's going down, then that must mean real estate's gonna collapse, right? And that's not necessarily true. It doesn't give a positive outlook towards there being dramatic increases. But like I've said in other videos, we don't want this market to continue. It's great for people that already have homes that are investing, but for us to continue to build our wealth, we want to buy multiple homes. So if we have to buy multiple homes at increasing prices while Airbnb stays the same, there's only so much people are gonna pay each month. And so we don't want our $300,000, $400,000 homes becoming $1 million homes. Just do this, man. So yeah, we want it to be an average inflation of 4 to maybe 6, but I mean, for him to see an increase of potentially $70 to almost $100 price per square foot in a year, so not healthy and so not sustainable, and it's not good for real estate investors for long-term growth, because we're doing this, we're holding these homes until we don't need them anymore. That could be when we're 50, that could be when they're 70, or we can sell them next year, it doesn't matter. Just we want to build multiple roots wide and deep, not just build a few roots really deep. Hopefully that answered it for you, Mai. Q Tran, she's a new one to the channel. She was wondering what your thoughts are on investment properties in other states, as well as multi-unit properties like duplexes.
I mean, I think anything that has to do with real estate is healthy. And so, I mean, me personally investing in a different state, I think I answered that earlier. I'd only do it if I plan to move to that state, live in that state temporarily. But as of right now, I have no plans to do so. Maybe in California, I do plan to live in San Diego at some point, retire there maybe. But other than that, I'm gonna stick to my state. And then
Duplexes. Duplexes or multi?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's worked for a long time. I believe it's still working. I mean, duplexes, people are always gonna need somewhere to live. And so I think that makes sense. I think that if that's all you can do right now, and you just want to focus on that, I mean, anything works as long as you put work into it. So
cool. And then what I kind of said earlier, my buddy here, Ray, and my other buddy Sean behind the camera, we're very close. We're very lucky to have, you know, in our 30s close friendships like that. It's not very common. But if you can find people like these two that can all tally in together, like Sean just picked up 40 units in Austin. I wouldn't personally ever go into Austin, but now that he's there, he might have some cleaners, he might have some managers, and if both of us go there, then we all can pull resources, and then maybe it would make more sense. Where I wouldn't have gone to Austin before, now I would consider going to Austin. Personally, I love Austin. Austin's one of my favorite cities, if not my favorite city, and so then it would make more sense in that case. So if you can if you plant a flag and build a structure around it versus just randomly going out by yourself, it's very different. Q Tran, what is your advice on just getting started in the real estate investing industry?
Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people that know what they're doing, and be positive. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'll probably say, it's just pretty cliche, but be positive, work hard, be patient. It'll be all right. I mean, if you're following a system that's been proven to work.
Also, make sure to watch YouTube channels like this religiously. And then once you watch the video, comment on it, like it, subscribe it, and watch it again. And then if you have multiple Google accounts, sign on to those and just let them play in the background. And then just go to sleep listening to it and like subconsciously get in your head. Just like constantly roll while you're sleeping. You'll eventually know as much as we do, for sure. Tracy, she asked, what things have you learned over time that are important to have in your property that you want to put on Airbnb or VRBO?
Good pictures.
But what about in the pictures?
I find that people definitely want the convenience of having cups, plates, pans. Those things are important. Obviously beds. I mean, everything that, I believe you made a video about that, of what you need in your home. And Sean does it all the time, but watch the videos. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's very important to have plates. All right.
I mean, everything's important, right?
Like you said, what's important to have in your plates, cups, pans? Man, she's gonna get rich if she listens to you.
Proof that anyone can hear you.
Yeah. Oh man, all right. This is good. All right, Will Wakefield, new guy to the channel, super cool. He's reached out to me. We're trying to get him a house. What were any unforeseen, unexpected costs in purchasing and furnishing the home? And that's not renovations. That's just things that you didn't know. Renovations are like even including making a backyard and all that kind of cool stuff.
I haven't done backyards. Man, I mean, everything's pretty standard. I mean, what you need is for a house for you to live in is literally what I put in there. So that should answer the last question too. Beds, couches, toilet paper,
Pans,
lots of toilet paper,
cups,
plates, toilet paper.
Toilet paper. He's not the one to ask about this. He has been pretty fortunate in his journey. Anthony Morrison, you guys have seen in my other videos, he does not get lucky. He gets lucky on purchasing a property. He always gets a really good property right before things go up and ends up getting like this really cool off. Like he gets really lucky in purchasing a property, but he just bought this new mega property. I mean, it's awesome. He got it for such a good price. But as soon as he got it, it froze like a week later, and then all of his pipes burst and his ceiling basically was covered in water, and then he had to personally get on a ladder with a saw and cut his whole ceiling on this huge badass place he just got, and water was just pouring down as if there was a pool upstairs that popped and just all was flooding down like a waterfall. And so that's the second time that's happened on his properties. This other time he did the same thing and water flooded everything. So he's the one to ask you about unforeseen things. He gets in there and he just starts making money. Will Wakefield, how long did it take to get your first booking and good month on Airbnb on this last property?
I went live, I think like the last week of February. And I was blessed to have been able to get a month-long booking in March for the entire month. I had a football player that stayed in there, so that was pretty cool.
That's true, yeah. I mean, as soon as he went live, he's like, hey, should I take this? And I was like, what? Someone's offering you like $10,000? As soon as you, I mean, I don't think he even got his pictures up yet or all of his furniture in there or something like that. I was like, yes, take it, man, take it.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have been able to get that person in there right away. So he was there for the entire month, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, did you end up taking that off? I know at the time you were planning on taking that off profile or off Airbnb. Did you take it off Airbnb or did you?
No, I never did. No, I kept it.
You went through Airbnb. Yeah. Jair Robinson, my only question is, how does he take so many vacation days? In Jair's voice, how does he take so many vacation days? I can't do Jair's voice.
Yeah, no, it's pretty freaking hard. I work for a good company that gives me the ability to do so. I run my own business within a company, so Work hard, play hard.
Yep. We got 3 more people left, but one of these people has a lot of questions. Let's just jump to the 2 that have 1 question. We have Corey Raven. Do you have any stupid Batman that I can buy from you in regards to crypto and NFTs? Do you have any NFTs or crypto? Do you believe in that space? Are you investing in that space? What do you think about it?
I think it's a cool concept. I haven't bought into it just because I'm pretty tied up with other things going on right now. I don't have anybody. If you're willing to buy something and pay a lot of money for it, I'll make it happen.
You buy it and then someone else pays it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good business model. That was from Corey Raven. Miss you, man. Japanese buddy living in Canada. David Acosta. Good day, Sean. Please talk about short-term rental insurance. What did you do about your insurance?
I just have my regular homeowners insurance, and Airbnb takes care of everything, or VRBO. They do a pretty good job.
Okay. You do have the ability to have special, if you talk to your insurance company, they have short-term renter insurances through, I have Allstate and I do mine through Allstate. Last question of last person of the evening, we got Paul Lumen. Paul, we'll save Paul for last. We had one come in last minute, from Joseph Griffith. He wants to know what his average earnings have been in each area and what he thinks is working at his high-performing location.
They both do pretty well. He wants to know what I'm
average
making.
earnings. We kind of covered in that last video, but
yeah, what, 10K a month?
Yeah,
per home, give or take.
I think
Maybe
Jeanette's 8, and then the other
9.
craft is like 10.
9.
Yeah,
We'll say 9.
something like that. And then what is working at your locations? Like what is it that you think separates you that's making it stand out or perform high?
I'm a badass when that's like,
You need confidence to do this game.
yeah. I think that I did a good job with pictures. That to me is really what sells it, in my opinion.
You hired the photographer, or you just did a good job in your interior director in
Both.
decorating?
Decorating, and I had a good guy who took some good pictures.
Cool. All right, and our last and final, we got Paul Lumen, our buddy that just went live on his newest property, Queens Landing. If you guys want to check it out, it's on Instagram. But he has a bunch of questions for Mr. Ray, so let's get into it. First question is, what is your position on minimum stays?
Damn it, bro! You should have just called me. Actually, I mean, I am doing 2 nights, minimum 2-night requirement, and I think I'm gonna do that for my new home as well, just because it's been working pretty well for me.
Okay, so you like the 2-night requirement?
I do like the 2-night requirement, yes. I'm gonna leave one property at 1-night requirement. And I currently have 2 that I'm working on, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna have one at 1 night and the other at 2-night minimum requirement to have more data to figure out what's better for me long term.
Yeah, and also it depends on your property. So in this particular case, Paul, you have a house that's very leaning towards 1-night stays. I have my newest house on Shaw that is also very leaning toward 1-night stays. So on those 2, I do allow 1-night stays. We just say hyper vigilant on anti-partying things. Whenever they contact us, just be super, super aggressive about screening them. And also I have cameras, and cameras really help out a lot. I know a lot of people don't do it. If they want to cover it, they can, but they have to do a large deposit to cover any kind of damage or issues with the neighbors. But yeah, if you're not going to do cameras, I don't know what to tell you. Like, your property is made for 1-night events. So you either just need to take the risk or you don't. You built a property like that, so what are you gonna do? Second question, as a new property, I need reviews. What is a good strategy to get a quick list of 5-star reviews while still getting good quality clients?
The reviews will come, just be patient. I personally myself asked for it as soon as they check out, and they did a pretty good job. That's something that I started doing recently. I never used to do it, but they will come, just be patient.
Yeah, what I like to do is get 10 friends, book it for a night for $1, and pay them, give them some pizza.
There's some
I'm just
people
kidding.
that have done
I'm just
that.
kidding. Don't do that. You might get kicked out of the platform.
Really?
But people might do that. I'm not saying that I do it, but I'm saying people might. Okay. What is your strategy for projecting annual revenue for new listings, especially gross income? What software models are you using?
So for the two new properties that I'm getting ready to put up, I am going to try to do the best that I can to make it pretty badass. And so I'm gonna look and see what everybody else is doing in the market, and then go a little bit more expensive. And just we're pushing the limits. But I also try to be fair and figure out what makes sense, right? So I mean, if I'm hosting 16 people, what does it make sense, right? Because if we're not hosting them, they're gonna go to a hotel. So I also try and make sure that I stay within the range of where it makes sense for a family to book an entire home and pay all that money.
Yeah, he's under contract right now on a home in South Dallas. This is his first South Dallas home, and it's a 4-bedroom with a den, which is actually a 5-bedroom. So he's going to be able to start pushing the market. I remember when we first got his first home, the idea of people at his home potentially paying $499 a night. So like, man, I really hope so. And then it goes, and then like they kept booking, and then 500, 600, 700. And now in that same market, we're seeing like my newest home, I have it for $1,000 a night on the weekends, and I'm getting all booked up. And so I'm thinking I could even do it 1,200, maybe even higher. And so people like him could potentially even increase his price up to 1,000 or at least 900. And so you'll always be surprised what the market's willing to maintain. And a lot of people think that, well, Airbnb's dead and the market's oversaturated, there's no way I can make money anymore. But that's not true. If that was the case, I would not be able to be doing such high occupancy at $1,200 or $1,000 a night, potentially $1,200. And he's still rocking and rolling as well on his. So yes, the market might be oversaturated. If you have a disposable property, what we can get away with back then is not what we can get away with now. If his property doesn't look good, if his picture doesn't look good, he's not gonna get booked. Back in the day, you can literally put up a shack and just put like your mom's old furniture in there and people would book it. So if your house isn't getting booked, that's probably not to do with the area. It's probably having to do with you. Like you need to probably power wash the outside and paint the outside and put some new furniture on the inside and retake all your pictures, because there is demand. You just have to get better. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. And whenever we get his house up and going, then we might do a tour here probably in the next 3 or 4 months, something like that. And yeah, and then we'll be in touch. So thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions that he did not answer in this video, make sure to put in the comments below. I'm looking forward to getting this channel up and running again. And thank you guys so much for still being here from almost a year off of not posting stuff. So thanks for sticking around. I hope to continue to make some good content for you guys in the future. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up.
And I'm willing to help. So if anybody does have any questions, feel free to reach out. I mean, he's always posting me on Instagram. So any questions, I'm an open book. Whatever I can do to help, I'll help.
See you guys.